We're so close now to Diablo 4's expansion, and I've got for you my Spiritborn leveling guide. And if you notice, we stepped up our game this expansion. These were my old leveling guides done in Google Sheets. We've published an official max roll guide on our Spiritborn leveling strategy, and it utilizes the most powerful skills that the Spiritborn has at their disposal in order to level as fast as possible. So I'm going to go through what those are and give you kind of an idea of what the leveling process is going to look like in Vessel of Hatred. So we start off and you're going to just put in your first couple points. You know, if you've done your renown, you can pick up things like Thunderspike as your primary. You then have skills. I like Rake. It's very strong early. And then a mobility skill such as Soar. Now, this is going to get you well beyond level 15 where you can unlock your Spirit Hall, which you're going to want to pick the main Spirit Hall of Eagle. Once you get around level 30, you can pick your secondary hall of Jaguar, which is going to give you stacks of Ferocity. Ferocity in this game are just like a building stack that increase your attack speed. And then if you utilize other affixes, you can get additional benefits from having stacks of ferocity. But at their base level, they just give you additional damage. And with the Jaguar secondary Spirit Hall, you're going to be able to generate a lot of ferocity. And we also generate ferocity with the skills that we use. So the main damage that we're doing is going to be this Eagle primary Spirit Hall. And I used this all the way through to T1, and I actually was able to farm T1 very efficiently with just this Spirit Hall. And what it does is every time you evade, you fling 8 Storm Feathers that do 125% damage, and they make enemies vulnerable. Like, this skill is insane. 8 times 125% of your weapon damage at a baseline, and you do it every single time you evade. So the more you evade, the more damage you're going to do, and the damage is so significant. So everything in this leveling build is based around that. You can see some of our aspects that we pick up. A lot of these are just defensive because our offense is already so strong. But the main one that you're going to want to look out for are Wild Claws in order to deal the additional damage. Since we're using Rake when we're not using our Eagle primary, Wild Claws is going to be the most important affix that we can get. And you can actually get it right from a dungeon, the Hierophant Pyre in Nahantu. So I recommend picking up that one. You really don't have to worry about any other affix in this leveling build. But as you can see, the guide has, the affixes and everything that you're looking for, as well as stat priorities, and then also the gear that you're going to look for when you start to transition into endgame. Now, if you have a different endgame build in mind, make sure you have that build up and everything that the items that you need for that. I have a video on the Touch of Death Spiritborn, which I think is going to be one of the strongest builds in the game. Make sure you have an idea of what endgame items you're looking for, but this is the guide that's going to get you to endgame. So here you can see there's a slider button where you can go through and look at all of these skills and when you're going to put them in, when we're picking up passives, when we're picking up our ultimate skill. You can see all of that here and follow this to get which skills you're putting in when, and how to min-max your whole progression through the Spiritborn. We're picking up, skills for mobility such as Ravager, Rushing Claw, Soar, and then the Hunter as our ultimate. And we've got Rake and Thunderspike, which are going to be the main damage dealers, basically. Thunderspike is going to be very, very important because what you're going to do is you are going to be spamming Thunderspike and your Eagle primary evade. So Thunderspike is going to reduce basically the entire cooldown of your evade skill, and then you'll be able to use evade and proc this Eagle primary hall. So that's kind of the combination that you're going to look for. If for whatever reason, you're stuck and you can't evade, then Rake is going to be a really good option for that hard-hitting AoE damage. You can look through the guide and see what the gear stats and priorities are going to be for while you're leveling. Also, some really important items to look out for in your leveling process. And these aren't just going to be, for this build necessarily. These are just all really great items that are just useful in general in you know, the Spiritborn playthrough, no matter what build you use. So a lot of them are really great for this build, but then we have, you know, a list of just really build defining uniques that you can make sure you look out for. We also have suggested Runewords if you happen to find them. Now, runes were pretty tough to come by, so I don't know how many we're going to have in the leveling process, but that remains to be seen. I don't have them in any of the leveling builds, but once you get to T1, I do start incorporating Runewords into the build, so you can see that in all of the planners. Mercenaries are going to be very important, and I recommend going with Rahir when you unlock him, because he grants you 15% all res. Now, this is very, very helpful, especially early when itemization is tough. Getting those res sorted out is difficult, and Rahir helps solve that problem for you. It's going to be important to pick 2 mercenaries always. So you're always going to want to have your main mercenary and a support mercenary, because you can earn rapport for both of them at the same time. So for our secondary, we pick Subo with trip mines, which end up knocking enemies down, and we can deal a little bit more damage to them. So for leveling in the season, you're going to want to start out doing your season journey, because that is kind of what we have to do. So for Vessel of Hatred, you're going to complete the campaign and get a lot of experience doing it. You're going to want to complete it on normal. The main bulk of the XP is from quest completion, and that doesn't scale with difficulty. So you need to do it on normal. Just get through the campaign as fast as possible. You get a ton of XP, and you'll probably finish the campaign around level 50. Now, to get from level 50 to 60, and then you know, that's when you enter Torment, you can just do strongholds or farm overworld activities. Strongholds are really good one-time XP boosts that I recommend doing to bridge the gap between where you leave off in your expansion and level 60. And then you're going to be transitioning into endgame. So pick whatever endgame build you want and start farming the gear for it. I'm going to have a video on all of the best endgame spots to farm based on what you're looking for. So I rank them all on, you know, what's the best place to find mythic uniques or resource materials or masterworking materials, anything that you want. It'll all be in that video. So subscribe to the channel if you want to make sure you don't miss that video, because there's just such an overload of endgame activities now. I thought that it would be valuable to just like break it down for my own sanity too. And I did a whole spreadsheet on it, so I want to share that with everyone as well. And then once you get to 60 and beyond, we've got a whole Paragon leveling board as well. So here you can go through, and there's again a slider. You can see what, you know, 200 Paragon looks like, 228, 250, and then if for whatever reason you're crazy and get to max Paragon, then even what that would end up looking like as well. So here we have glyph priority, what to level up first, what are the most important glyphs that you're going to want, and you know, that's it. That's the guide. Like I said, we stepped up our game with a max roll guide this season. I hope that it has everything that you want. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by the stream. We're going to be playing pretty much, you know, all day on launch drop. So stop by and check in on me. I'll be playing Spiritborn for the start of the season. Maybe I'll start a rogue at some point, but this is what we're doing. And I'm just looking forward to playing the new class. It's such a fun class, and I know that, you know, everyone will really enjoy it. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and thanks for watching.